This is Kevin Mayo, and today we are drinking Oktoberfest, or Marzens. We're going to try 3 different ones. I did this last year around this time, except I did Fest beers last time. This year we're doing the Marzens, or the Oktoberfest. Marzen being March beer. They should be malty. They should be more of an amber color. They can be color-wise. They're not. There is a range of color available in this style of beer, from a lighter to a darker, but they tend to be more darker than typical lagers, and this is a part of the lager family. So we have Yuengling, we have Von Trapp Oktoberfest, and then we've got Great North Ale Works Marzen Rover, and they are in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I don't know a lot about them, haven't had a lot of their beer. This was packaged on 8/13. Von Trapp, they make great lager style beers. I mean, they do Vienna lagers, they do Hells, that's just what they do. They're a lager, that's all they do. They're in Stowe, Vermont. And of course everybody knows Yuengling. They're actually the largest brewery in the country. So, depending on how you count. I guess maybe now with Sam Adams having Dogfish Head as part of them, maybe that's not true anymore. So why don't we give a little pour here and get some in the glasses and see what we got for color. As always, if you like the reviews, please subscribe. We're always looking for new friends. Ooh, got quite a head on that one. Yeah, I can already see that this Great North one is quite a bit. And it looks like we got a range of 3 different colors. The Yuengling is, orange, darker orange and dark amber. Lots of carbonation streaming up through it. It is crystal clear. And we have maybe a tan head. The Von Trapp is, yes, Von Trapp's probably half a shade lighter. It's still more on the orange side, and again a lot of carbonation streaming up through it. And then we got about 2 fingers and slightly darker head, a little bit closer to, I wouldn't call it brown or anything, but more tan, if that's such a thing. And then our Great North, we've lost all our head, put a little more in there. But we got nice white head on that. It's quite a bit closer to yellow, maybe just a slight orange tinge to it. And only, not really, very few bubbles streaming up through it. So not a lot of carbonation streaming up through it. Let's try some aroma. So we get coffee. A little bit of floral, and I get actually a little bit of skunk. Let's see what our cans have for us. This one's a little bit more bready. I don't really get caramel or toffee. And a little bit of floral. And this one has not much. I am not getting hardly any aroma out of this beer at all. Just a hint of maybe saltine, a little bit of cracker. That's about it. All in all, as far as aroma goes on all of them, they are fairly light aroma-wise. Not as caramely or malty as I would normally expect. Let's dive in. Taste-wise, excellent. Well, and I take that back. I take that way back. Wow. First taste, malty, amber. that rich caramel. Not really much bitter, but it tastes like burnt ash at the back end. It's objectionable. It's really not enjoyable in the least, and I think this is going to be a dump beer. So that is like I said, that is quite disappointing. Let's try the Von Trapp. Wow. Ooh. That is super sweet. Starts out super sweet. I can't even, I guess more like a Vienna lager, but even a little bit sweeter than you get out of a Vienna lager. Back end, I got a little bit of caramel, just a little bit. Does finish with some nice bittering and a little bit of floral on the back end. But again, not the caramel malt that I'm looking for in an Oktoberfest. Not a bad beer, but I would call it more of a Vienna lager than I would call it a Marzen or an Oktoberfest. And now let's try the Great North. Kind of like the color and the aroma. It's fairly, well, you know what? First sip, I'm like, there's not much there. However, it builds. I get a nice malt, nice toffee, nice a little bit of, I don't want to say roast, but a little bit of burnt bread or a little bit of dark toast is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. So this is the winner. I'm shocked. I was getting ready to kill it. That's why you should never presuppose. I'm like, I got a bad beer. I got an off flavor. I got an off flavor beer. I got a beer that doesn't seem true to the style, and I'm like, these guys don't even know what they're doing. This beer comes as close to nailing it as any of these do. Is it a great Oktoberfest? Not really, but it's a delicious Oktoberfest. I will happily finish this one. Actually, I'll happily finish this one too because hey, I paid for it. That one is a dump beer. Does not happen often. And very rarely do I dump a beer, but that one is a dump beer. There's definitely something off. It's like I said, I've got like a burnt ash in it. I'm going to Google that later if that's some sort of infection. I should know off the top of my head, but I'm old and I forget stuff. So there we are, free Oktoberfest. We've got a really good sample of it and a not true to the style sample of it, and we got something wrong with the batch. Till next time, keep drinking.